Poland has been doing a lion's share of, I mean, there's as many Ukrainian recent arrivals in Poland as the entire population of the Warsaw metropolitan area. So this is a huge burden on the Poles. Much of our humanitarian aid is going to nations like Poland to help them deal with the refugee issues there. But President Biden, within the last 10 days, did grant a TPS designation so that Ukrainians could come to the United States under the same TPS program that he just announced today for Afghans. And within about a day of that, I talked to a friend at a Richmond law firm that's already working on TPS applications for Ukrainians to be able to come into the Richmond metropolitan area. So here's what I know about Virginians. When folks are in trouble around the world, we're often very, very welcoming. We have a high percentage of for example, the El Salvadoran and Honduran TPS recipients that are in the country are in Virginia. We have a high percentage of folks who've come from Afghanistan. They are in Virginia. And I've just seen again and again the generosity of local churches, local families, resettlement organizations. The Catholic Diocese of Richmond has been really, and both dioceses in Virginia have been really strong on this. So I think there are opportunities for Virginians to play a role with Ukrainians who now do have the ability to apply for the TPS status. On the first question, President Biden does not want this to escalate into an all-Europe war. That has been, we're going to do everything we can to provide Ukraine with the resources to defend itself, but we do not want it to escalate into an all-Europe war. And we eventually want Ukraine to defeat Russia, not it becoming a world war against Russia. And I think that's a wise decision, but it can also be painful. It can also be painful. The president has determined that putting a U.S. or NATO planes into creating a no-fly zone over Ukraine would necessarily lead into air conflicts between Russia and the U.S. or Russia and NATO that could then widely escalate the war. And so as of now, the idea is to surge capacity, air defense systems and anti-tank missiles and other surge capacity into the Ukrainian Defense Force. I think that is likely to be the path going forward, but the quantity and lethality of the military aid that we're providing Ukraine is dramatically escalating to give them those defensive capacities.